Yo, what's going on, good people of the internet? Saints Era here, and I am a big Jujutsu Kaisen fan.
And I mean big fan. Bro, I'm so slutted out by Gege's writing. I have a literal mural in the back corner of my wall. Not even the back corner, the whole wall. So I'm pretty damn qualified. Anyway, let's cut to the chase, bro. Today you'll be watching my ranking of all the students at Tokyo Jujutsu High. You see, this class is home to mainstays of the series that with time became characters we have learned to love, such as residential edgelord Megami Fushiguro, Panda, who's a furry, Toge Inumaki, and Maki are all members of what I like to call the Narrative 7. These 7, Yuji, Maki, Megami, Toge, Nobara, Panda, and Yuta, will all be scaled and judged on their overall ability to succeed in the verse. I coined this term their sorcerer's score. A sorcerer's score is a culmination of certain criteria I have deemed viable from my experience reading the story. You see, I do this to be as objective as possible and to limit my contradictions and biases. Before we even get into this video though, I would like to include that there will be heavy spoilers and I will be using statements and feats in both anime and manga. So if you're an anime only, certain portions of this video might be, how do I say this? Not for you. Okay, a minute's worth of exposition later, we will actually be talking about how this video is going to work. We're going to be breaking down each student into 5 distinct categories. And starting off our list is Curse Energy Output. You see, Curse Energy Output takes into account the ability to let loose of your energy, let loose of your aura.
But along with output, I will also be judging their total amount of cursed energy. So don't really get confused by the name. Our second category has to be Curse Energy Manipulation. You see, Curse Energy Manipulation, I will be looking at how they manipulate Curse Energy.
And to do this, I'll have to check their barrier techniques. Are they good at making barrier techniques? Are they able to perform the Black Flash? Along with RCT, which stands for Reverse Curse Technique, where you essentially heal your body with positively charged curse energy. By multiplying it by itself, it's a whole thing, but in short, it requires top tier curse energy manipulation. Our next category is the innate technique. I don't really care how the user utilizes it, just the fresh out the box, raw version of the technique. One not hampered by the skills of the user. In this category, I'll be asking, is it versatile? Can you use it multiple times? Does it have a quick activation time? These are the questions we need to ask to differentiate from good and bad. In our fourth category, we'll be looking at each student's physical prowess. Think base strength in a Souls game, or even taijutsu with Naruto. Alright, and our fifth and final category is battle IQ. So battle IQ is really important in a story like this because everything is about the devil in the details. If you can change your mentality mid-battle, you can change the outcome of said battle. In the story of Jujutsu Kaisen, one's mindset is the most ever-changing weapon in their arsenal. Sorcerers have been shown to tap into a new level of lethality simply off of a change of thought. Okay, after evaluating these 5 categories and recording feats in both anime and manga, I will have created a comprehensive report, or sorcerer's score, on each of the 7. Starting off our list is Nobara Kugisaki. A practitioner of the straw doll technique, Nobara attacks her foes with cursed energy manipulated nails to deal major damage. Her 2 best techniques are easily straw doll technique hairpin and resonance. Hairpin allows her to wedge nails deep into her opponent's flesh that then explode with cursed energy, while resonance uses the straw doll mentioned earlier as an effigy to sacrifice body parts of her targets that then establish a link to attack the host, as it is explained in chapter 61 in her battle with the cursed brothers Eso and Kechizu. So how does she stack up to the rest? For cursed energy output, I gave her an 80. I believe her ability to use hairpin to cause many TNT-sized explosions is indeed impressive, especially in her showing against Momo Nishimiya, where she is seen taking down entire trees with individual nails. It takes immense force to totally capsize trees of that height, and it takes curse energy and output to do so. Though this is indeed impressive in the mortal realm, as the more we go along, you will see why she's aptly placed. Along with cursed energy output, her ability to manipulate it stands in the 80s, but at a 85. All in all, her ability to control nails is nothing special, and the ability to explode them on her command got her at the door. But the achievement to tap into the flow state and activate a Black Flash gave her the 5 extra points. Black Flash being the ability to strike your opponent with distorted cursed energy that deals a fuck ton of damage. And it is said that the difference between the abilities of those who have achieved the Black Flash and those who have not is the difference between heaven and earth. The straw doll technique, however, is not impressive at all, and this is where she will be receiving her lowest score at a meekly 75. Even with the ability for straw doll users to attack the soul with resonance, I still don't believe that the activation times and requirements are lenient enough for a top tier sorcerer to be able to use this effectively in battle. Her activation to use resonance is too demanding, and her other offensive attack, hairpin, is explosive, but they are still nails at the end of the day, being able to be dodged and evaded or even repelled from an opponent with high durability. So in my opinion, that makes the technique weak. But Nobara's carrying it, unlike somebody I know. In the category of physical prowess, it was honestly harder to gauge. Throughout all her fights, she's shown fighting with hammer and nail, so I had to judge her on how hard she hit people with the hammer due to her not really using fisticuffs that we're so accustomed to seeing in JJK. I know it's funky, but in the realm of physical prowess, I gave her an 80. Simply due to the fact that she almost knocked out a whole human with a squeaky toy. That is insane in concept. So I gave her the 80 points. Nobara's battle IQ sits at a comfortable 80 as well. Her ability to think on her toes and utilize her technique to its fullest potential gets her to this point, but no further. Unfortunately, her lack of experience nor God-given talent signals her limit.
You're screwed though, cause that makes me the worst possible match for you! Straw doll technique, resonance!
Alrighty, we now have enough information to determine Nobara's score, and after tallying her performance, here are her results. Nobara rounds out to a 79 overall, or a semi-first grade sorcerer, with the emphasis in cursed energy manipulation and technique usage. She struggles with variance in combat and has a relatively average AP, but all in all, she is a potent sorcerer with the ability to cause fatal damage against her opponents under the right conditions. Hence, I labeled her the offensive threat. The next student we'll be appraising is Panda. A cursed doll with fully autonomous cursed energy production, he is the combination of 3 aligned souls and the creation of Yasamichi Yaga. Panda is a physical brawler relying on his cursed energy manipulation to physically amplify his own stats. I will be taking into account his ability to transfer into his sibling's soul as his technique. In our first category, he does well. It is true that Panda has yet to be able to output cursed energy in any form of an offensive weapon. It is also true that his cursed energy reserves seem to be run-of-the-mill due to his short-lived fights throughout the series. But the reason why I ranked his output as high as I did is because Panda was shown to survive not 1, but 2 blasts from Mekamaru, a student of the school in Kyoto. Mekamaru holds a heavenly restriction which grants him the high level of cursed energy to manipulate and output. Panda being able to tank both Mekamaru's hand cannon and full powered blast is a strong feat towards his output, manipulation, and durability, hence the score of 80. His ability to manipulate cursed energy rests at 80. I believe his physical style of fighting requires manipulation mastery.
His skill allows him to move the location of his cursed cores, which requires a certain level of CE manipulation, but that's about it. Having no true technique, as I will dive into, results in a very limited fighter who only relies on physicals and battle IQ to win, and Panda does decent enough to be in B tier. Now I know technically Panda's technique is the self-autonomous curse energy, but I'll be counting his ability to switch through his sibling souls as a technique. To create a cursed doll such as himself, you would need to have 3 comparable souls housed in one doll's host body, and in Panda's case, it's his older siblings. Due to this fact, Panda is able to transfer between his sibling souls, those being Gorilla Mode and Triceratops Mode. Panda's go-to form in high-level combat is Gorilla Mode, in which he shapeshifts into a large gorilla, gaining the technique Unblockable Drumming Beat. Drumming Beat being a technique that allows him to give his cursed energy a property, while properties being alterations in normal cursed energy. Unblockable Drumming Beat allows the user's strikes to reverberate throughout their opponent's body and subsequently their organs. Now in regards to Panda's last form, it's not really pertinent to the conversation, because this form really doesn't do much. The very first time we're introduced to it, it gets washed, curb stomped, and disrespected by Heian era fighter Kashimo. I definitely wouldn't call that a feat, so I judged his technique solely upon his second form and his unblockable drumming beat, which is respectable enough to receive an 82. His physical prowess, I believe, is his best statistic, though pandas are usually 4 to 5 feet in height in the real world. In Jujutsu Kaisen, bro's more like a small forward, lengthening out to 6'7". Now imagine a bear throwing them hoes with you, and I mean claws and all. Even in a universe as fantastical as JJK, that's still a major problem for majority of life on Earth. If there wasn't busted sorcerers in the show, he would definitely be ranked higher. And in regards to Panda's thought processes in combat, he is shown to be resourceful. Him being able to feint the location of his cursed energy core, essentially his heart, requires smarts and high-level cursed energy manipulation. But as our friend Geto likes to say, that's nothing that separates him from the riffraff, which lands him at 78.
Huh? You think someone who looks like me is gonna fuss over what you look like? I'm a panda.
In totality, Panda is a resourceful fighter capable of killing high-level cursed spirits such as finger bearers, and is in contention with grade 1 sorcerers, but falls just short of the ranking of first grade, with him averaging out to an 81 overall, or semi-first grade sorcerer. Though he is a versatile combatant, he lacks the stamina and high damaging attacks to contend with true special grade spirits and first grade sorcerer who excel higher in categories that he specializes in. Next on our list is Yuta Okotsu, the Cursed Prodigy. Yuta is a second-year student at Tokyo Jujutsu High and a descendant of one of the 3 vengeful spirits, Michizane Sugawara. He is a sorcerer with boundless amounts of cursed energy, and along with this, controls his cursed lover's corpse, Rika Orimoto. Yuta is one of the few special grade sorcerers in the series, and when we are introduced to him in the Goodwill event arc, he is shown to be an overwhelming powerhouse that was capable of defeating the entire Kyoto school in last year's Goodwill event. He, along with having enormous amounts of cursed energy, comes equipped with a bodyguard in Rika Orimoto, his personal Shikigami, which is capable of going back and forth with special grade level threats. Along with this, Yuta wields a katana cursed tool that he uses proficiently to dispatch threats. All this piles upon a sorcerer with a curse technique copy, a technique in which I'll get into later. This makes Yuta a special grade sorcerer, second only to Satoru Gojo, in unusual abilities. As I said earlier, Yuta has boundless amounts of cursed energy, and from what we've seen so far, Yuta seems to have some of the highest cursed energy reserves in the series. Here's a statement from the sorcerer with the highest cursed energy output in history, Ishigori Ryu. He compares hitting a cursed energy reinforced Yuta to knocking against a massive water tank. Along with this, the statement from Yuji upon their meeting notes that he has cursed energy akin to Satoru Gojo and holds an immense amount of cursed energy, enough to make Yuji extremely hesitant. Keep in mind that this is the same Yuji who has come to blows with Mahito and Hanami, along with bearing witness to an entire domain expansion from Jogo. In none of those instances did he mention an opponent's total amount of cursed energy, though he did say Jogo seemed monstrous. This further showcases the difference of total amount of cursed energy Yuta has from the cast. My final point is a direct statement from Yuta's own mouth. When referencing his cursed energy, he says, "I've got more than Gojo Sensei." This Gojo Sensei being the pinnacle of power in the verse. Yuta's outlandish amount of cursed energy, paired with his ability to output his cursed energy and as an offensive threat, gives him the grade of 97. Next, we will be looking at his cursed energy manipulation. Yuta has access to 3 of the most impressive feats of cursed energy manipulation: Black Flash, Reverse Curse Technique, and the pinnacle of Jujutsu, Domain Expansion. Yuta is undoubtedly a master of cursed energy manipulation, and with his ability to heal others with Reverse Curse Technique, this puts him in a realm of sorcery only populated by 3 people: himself, Sukuna, and Airi Shoko. Being able to heal oneself with Reverse Curse Technique is extremely rare, but being able to heal others is even rarer. Even the honored Satoru Gojo has not been shown to be able to heal others with Reverse Curse Technique. In this category, he will receive a 99. Yuta Okotsu's technique is copy, but he holds staunch requirements to activate it. His true technique allows him to conjure the full manifestation of Rika Orimoto, which comes with the ability to copy curse techniques. While in contrast, without the activation of his technique, throughout the day he can only conjure the partial manifestation of Rika, only allowing access to her arms and head. This partially manifested Rika is able to fully incapacitate a demon god Yuji, the same Yuji who is noted to be the strongest physical fighter in his class. Simply put, Rika is no joke, and after full manifestation, she is allowed to attack in the real world unencumbered. A sorcerer could be fighting Yuta and also have to be cognizant of a special grade level spirit equipped with high level cursed energy output and a thirst for blood. With the full manifestation of Rika, Yuta is allowed to use his true technique copy. Rika works as a warehouse or external storage for Yuta to house replicated techniques, cursed tools, that he then brings to the battlefield, making him capable of all sorts of forms of combat. A versatile and highly unique technique, along with the side effect of once fully manifested, Rika replenishes Yuta's cursed energy, essentially ringing the bell for round 2. The only cost is that he can maintain this form once a day and for a total of 5 minutes. A steep price to pay for a very strong technique, which lands it at the score of 97. Yuta is not strong in a traditional sense. Without cursed energy, he'd be physically weak and an even worse fighter. But with the amplification of his cursed energy, every swing from his sword, every punch from his fist, and every blow is deadly. He is able to reinforce his strength with his cursed aura to physically amplify his attacks, raising his AP. This damage could not be achieved simply from his own physical strength, the literal opposite of our MC Yuji Itadori. The sheer amount of cursed energy he has at his disposal causes Yuta's physical prowess to skyrocket to a 96. Yuta was smart enough to bypass a binding vow imposed upon him by the higher-ups in his execution of Yuji Itadori. Along with this, he was able to pick up on high-level Jujutsu techniques in less than a year's time. Enough so that he was able to contend with special grade sorcerer Suguru Geto. Though he is quick-witted and greatly gifted, and even more experienced than his classmates, he's not as experienced as the sorcerers who are at the very top of the verse. Sorcerers like Kenjaku, Sukuna, and even Gojo all have countless years of experience, and in our big baddies' cases, 100 to 1,000 years of that said experience. It would be impossible to put Yuta's battle IQ above this point due to the sheer technicality.
I wish I could be just like you. You know, strong and determined.
Okay, now having finished Yuta's grades, we can now assess. Yuta is a cursed energy behemoth who excels at throwing his cursed energy weight around the battlefield. A high-octane fighter with a bag deep enough to fight in the close, mid, and long range. Along with this, comes equipped with his own support fighter, Enrika, and high levels of cursed energy mastery. Topping this off with a technique that gives him some of the most versatility in the series. An offensive juggernaut, Yuta is a true special grade sorcerer, and after calculating his scores, he receives an average of 96.
And with that, this concludes the video. I will be making a part 2 to tackle the rest of the class, along with making videos for Kyoto school students. And later on down the line, I plan on making one for staff of both schools, along with other relevant users of Jujutsu in the show. I appreciate you all for getting to this point and watching my video. I put in a lot of hard work and passion, this being my first video ever, and I'm very proud of myself. So if you could hit me with a like, that would go a long way. Thank you. And if you like JJK content, I will be posting said content on this channel, so if that interests you, go ahead and subscribe. Saint out.